Hi, welcome to VHS Action Rewind. This is the show where we watch tapes.
And this week, it was a bad one. I feel like I'm coming to the edge of this thing. Watching these shitty movies. Cullen almost threw in the towel.
Listen, I love me a good movie. I love me a bad movie.
Who doesn't?
If it's a movie, I'm going to find something about it that I enjoy. The movie we watched for this week, we had to stop about 30 minutes in. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it, you know?
Who would feel it? I have a boner for Brandon Lee. Who doesn't, you know? Everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
He's super hot, just like his dad. He's a fucking smoke show. I'm thinking, yeah, I want to watch the Brandon Lee film, obviously. Well, folks, my boner led me astray this time. Because this movie was a piece of shit.
We watched
Laser Mission. It was so bad. It was so bad. And if you ever think to yourself, you know, I wish they'd give me a little more, some more jokes instead of a whole plot synopsis, then you're in luck, because we don't know what the fucking plot is. We've looked it up. I've Wikipedia'd it. I've looked at reviews. Nobody knows what the plot is.
We watched the movie.
We watched the movie.
Know what happened.
It's like, this makes Tommy Wiseau look like a genius. Let's just get right into it.
So the movie is called Laser Mission. I bet you have a picture in your mind of so many lasers. Nary a laser in this film.
Nope.
They're talked about. We don't see it.
So the film starts off with Brandon Lee. I don't know. What's he doing?
So he is a mercenary named Michael Gold.
And you know that because the theme song that's played probably 800 times in this movie says that he's a CIA mercenary.
Yeah, which 10 out of 10 on the theme song. I know they play it a lot, but
it was pretty good.
I love it. A mercenary man.
Yeah.
He's a mercenary man.
He's a mercenary man.
He's a mercenary man.
Absolutely.
He's a mercenary man. Mercenary man.
He's hired by the CIA to go to Cuba to find this super old man who is a genius when it comes to laser technology. And I bet you would expect that this old Cuban man would be played by a Hispanic person. But surprise, it's Ernest Borgnine.
See, with the Virbeck diamond and my laser, I can create a nuclear weapon.
I didn't know who that is. Cullen was like, Ernest Borgnine, and I was like, are you 80 years old? They did this a lot in the movie where they would have Cuban characters who are very not Cuban and also in very dark makeup. Very obviously white people. There's like this two, I don't know, like goofball duo, a guy and a girl. Okay, the guy is very obviously not Cuban, and like the accent they have him in, all of it is...
It's rough.
It's a big yikes, folks.
You're probably thinking, luckily, Brandon Lee, you know, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
So luckily he's probably not in brownface. He's in brownface twice. I think once we saw Brandon Lee dressed as a Middle Eastern guy in brownface, that's when we turned it off for the first time.
The worst part about Brandon Lee in this is his acting is so bad. Somebody left a review on IMDb and said this is a 80-minute long Mentos commercial. The final shot of this movie is Brandon Lee, like a close-up of his face going like...
Mentos, the fresh maker.
It's so bad.
There's also at the beginning that there's some giant diamond, and that gets stolen.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, there's like green smoke that comes out, like the Joker from 1966 Batman is stealing it, but it's the KGB, I think. And they have the diamond because Ernest Borgnine, who we've established is definitely a Cuban man and also definitely a lasers expert.
Is he supposed to be Cuban?
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
You think they're in Cuba the whole time, and then all of a sudden it's the desert.
Yeah, they go from
This
Cuba
isn't-
to a desert, and at the end, I had to look it up. They're in South Africa.
Yeah, which I also looked up, and you cannot find. I don't know how he found it. I think he's making it up. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
I just, how do you get to a point in your life where you decide to make a movie, you get like people to finance it, you get Brandon Lee and Ernest Borghini, and then just not even have a concept for the film? Like, there weren't just plot holes. The whole thing was a plot hole. There wasn't a plot. There wasn't a plot. It was like, oh, this guy makes he's a laser expert, and the KGB wants him, and also Diamond.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Because Caitlyn, they explained that if they take the diamond and a laser cannon that we never see that Ernest Borgnine is going to build, those two combined will create a nuclear weapon. And I did look at it, and the science does add up. So that does add up.
Yeah.
I can create a nuclear weapon.
The quality of film, too, it felt a lot like we were watching something we weren't supposed to.
like a snuff film.
Yeah.
The girl in the movie, they couldn't...
Alyssa,
they couldn't have picked a more annoying way to present her.
Yeah.
Listen, we all know I love titties. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Her titties are out the whole time. She's in a blue dress the whole time. And, like, I'm not trying to hate and be like, put your titties back in. No, I don't want that. But I want an outfit change.
Yeah, there needed to be a wardrobe
It looks
change at some point.
unsanitary. I was just, the whole time I was like, she hasn't changed her outfit. Like, get her some new clothes.
Right, they do set up that they got their clothes dry cleaned while they were at the hotel. But I feel like that would have been a perfect opportunity for a wardrobe change.
Why add that in the movie? Why not just give her another dress?
So they set her up as being Ernest Borgnine's daughter, and then at the end it's revealed that Ernest Borgnine doesn't know who the fuck she is. And she's like, guess what? I was a double agent the whole time.
What's a double agent?
She was like, oh, I'm just... I don't think I'm using double agent properly.
I love that you were going to go for it.
I was going to try and make it work.
You were going to finagle your way through it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to fake it till I made it.
Yeah.
And then I decided to pull out at the last minute.
Yeah.
But she...
it's a signature move.
She did a switcheroo.
Okay.
She did a switcheroo on everybody. There was a scene, too, where Ernest Borgnine was... They had him climbing up the side of this rocky hill. Clearly, actually him doing it on camera, and I was scared. I was scared for him. I was worried. I was like, Ernest is too old. Ernie's too old for this.
Yeah.
He's going to fall.
I know that they didn't have, like, medics on set.
Oh, no.
Or any sort of safety protocols.
What about the villains? We should probably mention who they are.
Okay. Who
There's
are the villains?
The KGB, which is just like one
guy.
Russian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kalishnikov.
Who also looked like they made suspiciously tan. So everybody is orange.
Are they just trying to set up the fact that they've all been in the desert for a long time?
Maybe?
Yeah, why? Everyone was like wet and like orange. What about the other villain, Eckhart, who's in it for like 5 minutes, but is supposed to be, I think, the like guy who's in charge of everything? Do you even remember
No.
him? Him and Bruce Lee. Him and
Bruce
Brandon.
Springsteen.
Him and Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce, champion for the working class
The
Springsteen.
boss.
If he was in this, mwah, it would have gone a totally different way.
Get Bruce Springsteen in all of your movies.
Get Bruce Springsteen in Laser Mission.
We want to see the Springsteen cut. Release the Springsteen cut.
After this movie, I can't even figure out words. What are those? I don't know, because my brain is failing right now from watching this piece of shit.
I think shooting during car chases is about 75% of the movie.
Yeah, the fire's still burning. Turning wheels within a wheel.
I I never thought that I could be, like, creeped out by Brandon Lee, and boy was I in this film. The whole time, like, they had a sex scene. Also, Brandon Lee and the love interest, their chemistry was non-existent. I've never felt more uncomfortable seeing two people together. It was like two 13-year-olds. You know, whenever you're that age and you're around the opposite sex and like people are trying to be like, oh, you got a boyfriend. You're like, oh, and you're like so uncomfortable. That's what it felt like. It was palpable.
What was your favorite part?
I just can't describe to you how revolting this movie is, how bad you will feel when you're watching it. So watch it at your own risk. My favorite part was when it ended and I felt relief that all I had to do was film this and never watch that movie again. If it wasn't Brandon Lee, I would say you throw the VHS out because I never want to be reminded of it again. I'm going to be mad when you're editing this. I'm going to be mad whenever I watch it back. I'm going to be mad until I forget that this film existed.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, my favorite part, how the bad guy died 3 times at the end, where he was shot and fell into a cave, in a deep cave.
He fell and hit several sharp rocks in a cave, and it showed that.
Yeah, but then he climbed out and revealed that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. But then he was
It wouldn't matter. He cracked his head open on rocks. A bulletproof vest isn't going to save you from that.
Yeah, but he hit his chest on every rock on the way down. But then he was literally hoisted by his own petard when he was blown up by his own TNT. But luckily, he's a cartoon person, and he came out of the explosion just with like soot all over his face. But then all the main characters together ran him over with a jeep. Into a wall of bricks, and that is how
Which,
he died.
if you don't die from the first two things, you're not going to die from getting hit by a car. That's just
how it
the
works.
rules, babies. So
that's as scientifically accurate as a diamond laser gun.
yeah, and you can't argue with that.
You can't argue with science.
Yeah. Are we doing hot or not? Okay,
Yeah.
hot or not.
Okay, let's start with Ernest Borgnine. More specifically, let's start with Ernest Borgnine. Bergman. Let's start with Ernest
Bergman.
Let's start with Ernest Birdman's eyebrows.
They remind me of my orthodontist when I was younger. Dr. Feuerhahn, I know you're out there watching. Shout out to you. Thanks for my teeth. He tried to give me a chin, you know? They took out my wisdom teeth. They took out these 4 teeth. They tried to give me a fucking chin, and it didn't work. All that happened is my fucking spacers got stuck in my gums, and my face swelled up.
Aww.
So
hot.
So hot.
For
yes.
sure, hot.
Yeah.
What about Alyssa, the fake Ernest Borgnine daughter?
She is hot. She's just so
She's
annoying.
Not good.
She's not good, and I know that that's not her real voice. It's like her voice got more whiny and high pitched throughout the movie. Whenever they keep her in the same dress, all I can think about is like so many sanitary things. But I guess they had them dry clean, so
That a dry clean, Caitlyn.
that solves that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they added that into the plot.
Brandon Lee.
He's so hot. He's so hot. He is so hot. Brandon Lee is so hot. I just looked at pictures of him the whole time to as a palate cleanser, I guess, to be like, no, he's still hot. You were right. He's hot. Because he's so bad in this movie. This movie, really at the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't think I have a big crush on Brandon Lee anymore because he's so bad in this movie. His acting is atrocious. In this movie, I think I'm going to have to say not. He is so physically hot.
Uh-huh.
And in The Crow, his broody character, there's nothing better. But this wasn't it, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say not.
Wow. Controversial.
It is controversial.
Well, what would you rate it? What would you give Laser Mission out of 10? What is your number?
I would say getting sounded in a serial killer's dingy blood-soaked basement.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's honestly higher than I thought you were going to give it.
What
Well,
would you give it?
I'm going to give it 1 point for the theme song. I'm going to give it 1 point for the 3 times they had to kill Kalashnikov at the end. And I'm also going to give it a point for probably the finest examples I've ever seen on film of characters running at people with machine guns and just kind of like loosely shooting a gun around and
Not
killing
getting shot.
everyone and not getting shot once.
Yeah.
That happens quite a bit and in a pretty funny way. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10.
I don't like that. I'm going
You're
to
going to challenge that?
challenge that. I'm going to challenge that.
Okay. well-
You're wrong. And you have to change it.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 2.99 out of 10.
No. A 2 out of 10.
Okay, a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll deduct 1 point so that I don't get divorced. Well, on that note, let's end this how we always end it.
Okay.
Bye!
Bye.